this is the most beneficial thing.
It is, yeah, it really is.
Oh, I feel like it is, and I'd
Yeah,
do it
I'd
in
pay it
every
all.
class. I mean, who wouldn't want to just get paid to paint?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's what you all have wanted, and it's been the biggest part of my growth and development since I've been doing this, and I just appreciate it. And I see I'm going to just hit enough of this on here to kind of pick up some light stuff. That's what's going to break up the monotony of that wall. But see, again, I kind of like it without really doing a lot of stuff on it, you know. Then we're going to come into the second part, and this is going to be the last thing, and we're going to hit the road. Isn't that something?
Just can't be scared of them darks.
That's right, Joe.
Larry, I can't tell you how much I love that oil paint.
But what?
Oil paint.
Well, I am so thrilled.
If I'm trying to do this watercolor for a show kind of fast.
Sure,
I can't
but that's
wait.
good. But Sarah, isn't it wonderful to have that ability to
Yes.
do either one that you want to do?
And that's what I've wanted for so
Easily,
long.
you know?
Yes.
And well, that is something. That's something to really aim for. Now I'm gonna do one more little thing over here, and just a couple more small things, and we're gonna be ready to hit the road. Okay, now see, I want to come here.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Something to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, not really overdo
I
it.
like that.
I don't want to come in. I don't want it to be opaque one way or the other. But I want it to be. Look at that now. I've never tried that before, but it gives you a nice solid feeling.
Yes, it does.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna come back up here. A little bit of that white, and then let's have a little bit of that stuff climbing on that wall up here. And then we're gonna have a little bit of a couple of more bricks up here. Get our dark color again. Maybe a little bit of that black. Continue that. Oh man, look how.
Very nice.
I think we'll call that sucker finished.
Beautiful.
That whole
Yes.
side, man. I tell you what,
Thank you.
this is exciting.
It is that. All right.
Thank y'all so much for hanging in there with me here. And we'll just go ahead. What more can I say?
Right.
See, again, it's our Thursday night class, and we're doing a demo again on our Lafitte's Blacksmith shop. And without any further conversation, let's just rock along, since we only have about 15 minutes, but we'll pass a good time. Now, we ought to have a little bit of color on that front part of that building. So I think burnt sienna would be a good color.
Oh, it's a good start.
But we're gonna make it real thin, put a little cadmium yellow with it. Joe, grab me some of that paper over there in that corner. We're gonna put a little cadmium yellow so that when it dries, it just barely shows up that it's drying. Okay, now that, I'm gonna put a little bit more, that the color's there, I should say. So let me put a little bit more here. Okay, that's gonna be perfect.
The cadmium yellow is going to make it look like sunlight.
Exactly. And well, the cadmium yellow just gives it a little bit of a, it just gives it a little bit of a glow that you want to have in something like this, as far as I'm concerned, when you're doing sun. So now that's a little bit, in other words, when you have a strong sunlight coming down. So I don't like mortar, and you can leave some of it white if you want to, but I don't really like mortar.
It's not much of a seed.
You wanna see it over here?
No, I got plenty of secrets.
I got it.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
it's not. She's fine. Okay, so we're gonna come here.
See? Can you say that on camera?
Yeah, you can say that. You want some?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she brings us,
I know I haven't.
she brings us a bottle from Paris, France
Oh,
every
we've been
week.
I
You know,
haven't been in a while, and the last
when she goes over there,
they would have the kind.
she's a sweetheart, man.
Wherever you found that little shop is good.
My favorite little grocery
Oh,
store.
I bet it is.
She flies
They make
with
their own?
Delta.
I don't
And
think
so she
it's
brings
fine.
But they know
it.
where to get it.
I guess.
She brings it without the sulfides. And she's so sweet. Yeah, so We manage to have some one way or another, huh? Because you know we got to watch our health, man. You know.
Well, that's true.
I'm sure
And my
don't want anybody
pediatrician
to
told me.
call.
Yeah.
Pediatrician.
That's right.
I like that.
Well, Joe, she's our pediatrician too. Now she's not just yours.
Yeah, well, she's primarily mine, you know.
Joe's got dibs.
Okay. Well, she ought to be getting through
I
with
need
her
to
stuff.
give her a
Pretty
ring
sharp.
or
Yeah.
send her an email.
Yeah, she needs to come.
Tell her she can't come at least something
That's Sarah. You heard what he said? I mean, that's again. What was that word you used that time? That's irreverent, Joe. Call somebody and just tell them to send
It's just like
food.
using their credit card, isn't it?
Same kind of thing.
Well, I tell you what, some stuff you never can put
That's
behind.
right.
you.
Never
Boy.
lived
Don't
there.
ever take Larry out to lunch.
No, Larry took everybody else out to lunch. And we were told you can't use American Express here.
It's
When
not
I
like
went
one
to
of those
pay for lunch.
commercials, you know.
Oh, and I've had that happen to me. I
Yeah,
thought
well,
American
I'm glad
Express
somebody
was
else had, but you didn't have to
everywhere.
borrow the wrong
No, they
person's
don't.
credit card like I did.
Oh,
Too expensive.
good.
It's funny because
I mean, he never-
And
told a bunch of people I was gonna treat,
That's
and they
what-
didn't take the card.
that's what Larry- that's what
So
Larry
what'd
did.
you do, Gary?
They paid. They never let me live it down.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
still good friends.
Yeah.
But they,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's understandable.
Okay, now we'll start dragging. Oh man, we got 10 more minutes. That clock's probably a little fast too.
I'm sure it is.
Well, you can't spend a lot of time making your decisions. You just got to do
Well,
it.
that's what I love about it, really. And we're gonna come on down like this. Come on down like this. Some nice cards, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see yours?
I got to get my card out here.
It's beautiful. So with, see what you like. Isn't that beautiful?
Let's see.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, I just wanna make sure you're happy.
Excited.
Because see, all I gotta do is stick to it in there and it prints them about 5 minutes,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you were happy with it. And
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Very nice.
that's just her second series too that she's in.
That is beautiful.
She, her husband came by last night and talked her into getting 40.
I know, and then in
And-
the car on the way home, he said, okay, I want to send one, blah, blah, blah. He just went through this whole list, and it was all 40, and I was like, I haven't sent anything to any of my friends.
Well, he's proud of you, that's great.
That's sweet. I could draw a stick figure, and I think he'd send them to all of his friends. He's just
you gotta
that's-
test him next year.
Oh, I would do a stick figure of Santa Claus. See what he says.
We
Okay,
could do it this year and just tell him you made 2 cards.
There you go.
some of this looks like it's wet. It
Just
should
tell him
be.
you're gonna send the stick figure to this friend.
That's
Now,
John,
I
don't
know
show him that card. Just get another card and draw a stick figure on it.
I'll
Say,
get
what do you think?
You see Gary's?
Yours?
Oh, it's cute.
Gary's is one of a kind. Gary's is so,
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah.
this one I love.
Yeah. Isn't that precious?
That
to revise it. He
Yeah.
broke his foot.
I had to break my foot so I'd have something to say.
Oh, you're still in a boot.
Bye-bye, Alec.
Bye,
Night.
Alex.
Bye-bye.
That is so good.
Yeah, it's funny you said, because the first year I did Christmas cards, my wife says, I'm not sending that to my friends. And so I only sent 7 out. And
You're
now we
kidding.
send,
Now everybody
and so
questions
now
if
we
they don't get it.
send about 100 out now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because people really respond to
Oh,
it. don't
yeah.
they?
They really do.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I'm not sending that to my friend.
Well, Gary's always the most distinctive of the whole group.
Well, I thought they wouldn't respond well to
It usually
mine
involves
this year.
a Hawaiian
know that
shirt
one
and a
was-
surfboard anyway.
The lucky dog.
Still have the
But
bike.
I've had
Yeah.
tremendous
Now, last year you had that little
Well,
boy.
we had.
Oh, yeah,
That was so
that was
sweet.
desperate.
No, I love that.
That was baby Santa,
Get Larry to print some more.
Santa baby, I should say.
Okay. Now, what I want to do This is still a little bit wet, but that'll be perfect for what I want. I want to get this, drop down that number 8 brush, whatever this bigger brush is here.
220, I think.
And we're going to get that ultramarine blue now, a little bit of red, a little bit of burnt sienna.
You want some wine?
Yeah, well,
It's fresh from the box.
it's coming.
How are you? Hey, look, is there any way I can call you back in a few minutes? You gonna be up a while? Okay, I'm finished up with them. Okay, fine. Thank you. Sorry about that. I wasn't gonna answer it because I didn't know where it came from, but that's my brother-in-law. He's got leukemia. He's doing great. They just been keeping him alive with transfusions and all, but so no problem. All right, now we're gonna come along here. And we're just going to start in here like this and do this. Now what we want to do is we always want to show that darker area under here. But then you always want to, whenever you have these shadows like this in the quarter, see how I use all these blue and red, make those violet looking colors. That's what I want to bring down here. And then you pick up a little bit of I'm going to pick it up where it's a little stronger, because this particular, mix a little yellow with it. This burnt sienna is not too strong. And what you do while it's wet, I'm just going to take some of this lighter brown and make it look like it all ran down and the building stained up here. So we'll just come across like this. And you just can do all kind of fun things to. One of the things about moving in a hurry like this is that you don't really have time to stop and worry about anything. You just do it. That's what makes it really work. All right, we're going to do the blue and the brown again, except I'm going to put a little bit of black in it because I want to get something that'll make me some crisp lines. I just might run a little bit more than I wanted to, but I'll just take my chances with it, because as we've found out, a lot of times when you come in and you put this in, it just creates some of the most interesting effects. Okay, so we're going to do this and then put a little bit of, now see, that's drying in such a way, but it's really doing just what I want it to do now. So let's just come on down here. We're going to pick up some of the, actually this is in the cement on both sides, so I can just kind of come right down here and do just about whatever I want to do with it. And then, well, let's see, while I got that going, let's just do this part right here. Now, this building has been renovated recently, and it was really, really about ready to cave in. A lot of people complained about it, because it always loses some of its charm, but it was really in bad shape. Trust me, it was in bad shape 100 years ago. So I think the city finally made them go in and make some changes. I'm just going to kind of texturize it like this.
Larry, when was that built originally?
It's 200 years old, I know that much.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to take a little bit of our blue and red again. Just come down this side of it.
It's a couple of 100 years old. It was built about the same time. Spanish Town, Beauregard Town,
Mm-hmm.
all those areas.
We'll come on down like this. Yeah, well, I tell you, I think that's wonderful the way y'all did that Beauregard show like that. It was very successful for y'all too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was wonderful. And because
It's fun.
we made that book and we've got all that stuff recorded now, you know, so it's a shame when you think about it, because all those places would have. Now I'm not going to do all the brick for time's sake tonight. I'm going to try to finish this one section, except for all the brick, but I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Now, like some of this right here, I might just come. So you just put whatever kind of texture. The more texture you put, the better it's going to look. The more antique looking that you make it, the better it's going to look.
I assume you're going to put the sky in last.
You know, Joe, for some reason I hadn't even thought about it.
Well,
I know
I
it's
hadn't
got to
either
have
till
a
now.
sky, but I'll put it in shortly. I probably will put it in last.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why, you know, it just, when it worked out,
It'll work.
we just had enough time to do this one night, enough time to do this one night. And that's what I like about these free-for-alls.
Well, I was amazed that you put the eavesdropping technique before you put the roof on. But, you know, that's, it
Well,
works.
You just used to doing something in a certain way, you know, and again, the unique thing about this is it's dictated more by time, Sarah,
Yeah, I
you know, like,
understand
than
that.
anything, and I love it.
Me too. And
I-
it certainly does work.
Well, I hope so, because I'm having a ball. You see, this is what I was telling you all about. This is why that fellow in that book over there, Roland Golden, that used to let me go to his studio back in the 50s for about an hour after school every day. And all this kind of stuff I remember like it was yesterday. And he's such a modest fellow, you know. He tells me all the time, because I send so many people over there to see his work and all. He said he would keep telling me about what I did for you. He said, I don't ever remember doing anything for you. He's just a very modest person. And then but I remind him that what he did, you know, what's that worth to stand in somebody's studio and watch him paint? He was about 8 years older than I was. Okay, now notice, show you a little trick on this now. Which you can do this one of two ways, but see, you can see the inside of this. And this is what I appreciated. I saw him do this like it was yesterday. And you have to remember, a certain amount of this gets monotonous, okay? And then you come across, and you don't do the other side. You let the eye close that for you see? And so it just creates a very, very interesting situation. And I'm going to come on across like this. And it just, that wood was on those buildings that hadn't been painted so long. They just got to a point that they just, that everything was just plain, you know. There was no color to it. It was just all worn out. Now over here, so I don't get it monotonous, I'm going to come back and do these. See, I'm not really sweating it or making too much fuss about it. But now look how that begins to just, that's all you need. It just really begins to come to life. So let's come back over here, and I might make these a little bit darker again, and put a little bit of different color. Isn't that neat?
It is.
And I think we pretty much got all over here like this. Okay, now again, I just like to kind of texturize these things a little bit. That wood is actually in the mortar, and it all kind of, it's just kind of interesting when you study it.
What yellow was that you used?
That's cadmium yellow, like,
Cadmium.
you know, we use the 5 basic colors always in this palette, Gary. And
I like that
cold,
effect.
man.
I like that effect.
Yeah, it really, and you'd be surprised when you simplify your palette how much you can really do with it. All right. Now, let's see if this brush has got kind of an unusual shape to it. I'm just going to do some bricks now. And we'll get a little bit more red in those bricks. Too much. I want to keep y'all late, but we'll...
Oh, it is. Time did run out, didn't it?
Well, I had promised Alec the other night, he's such a good boy, that I'd do a Christmas card with him tonight, so I did one. Y'all I don't know if y'all saw it on the video,
No.
but I did one, and then I'm gonna let him take it home and show his mama.
It made perfect bricks.
It really does. See,
It's a brick brush.
you got it. Yeah, I got a special on them too next week.
We're getting low on them. Last 3.
Before the price goes up. I might want to look about getting it
What's the last
All right.
whole batch with him?
Now this brown, the burnt sienna, I know is gonna. Oh, this. Man, I'm taking the time to do this. See, it's getting a little bit too. It's a lot stronger than color than I thought it would hold up to be, and I don't like it to do that because that brick doesn't do that. We're gonna do that, and then see, I'm gonna come in now and I'm gonna break some of the monotony up. And as long as you keep them in perspective, you have to always remember when you're doing this, your eye really takes care of a lot of it in your imagination. So what I much prefer to break up the monotony is to do them a little lighter and then just come back and put a handful of them. Okay, now.
It sure is connecting that part to
It really
everything
is.
else.
It really is, but yet keeping it nice and light, you see. Now let's get this a little bit darker here. I think that's all I'm gonna do on those bricks for Tom's sake tonight. But y'all will get the idea. I'm gonna go back and put the darker ones in and y'all can see what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I might even want to get some of this a little bit darker here to create that illusion of it being
We'll
the
see y'all
solid.
next week.
Good night.
Bob,
Okay,
enjoy
take
it,
care.
bud.
Good seeing you, Bob.
Bye-bye.
You want me to get Gary to walk you out to the car?
I appreciate it.
Okay, now let's just, again. And see, I might do it wet, I might do it dry, it doesn't really matter, I just kind of keep doing it. Okay, now, last thing, let's take a few of these darker bricks now. Actually, I might put a little blue in there with them.
Bye later.
Good night.
Hey,
Good night.
enjoyed it, good to see y'all.
See you, Julie.
Bring
Wait,
food.
you're not leaving, huh?
Hold the door. and she-
You're not leaving, huh?
Yeah.
No, I just take me a second to put that mantle on, I gotta
Bye,
go.
Julie.
Okay, Julie, thank you.
Good night.
See you, bring food.
Sound like Joe now.
Isn't that, he has no
Joe,
shame.
Joe,
does
Joe
he?
told her if you don't come, how can we get it from you?
Well, we having a party last night, we don't want her to forget next week.
Right. I don't think we're gonna forget.
And see, so see how I just break them up a little bit? That's all I'm gonna do. And you see remember the hardest part is to just back off and not do anything. And so, I gotta do one other thing real quick. Now let's see, it's just, it's 5 after. I'm just gonna do this little thing right here and then extend this where y'all can, because that's really basically all I'm gonna do. Now that sometimes, I don't mind telling you, that's a little hard to do, to just back off and just leave it to the imagination. But see, as exciting and how jumping out at you in your face like this side is, the beauty of this part when I get all the bricks on, of course, is this is going to be relatively simple, but it's going to be lighter. It's going to be sandwiched between these two, and the simplicity and the complex is they're really going to complement one another. But you're definitely going to know that this is the center of interest. Now, if you ever do any of these things like this on this cement, or mortar or whatever, you always want to make it a little darker under this like this. And sometimes you make it a little darker, suggest it, make it a little darker again. And let me just do this one other thing over here while I got this color out. I've got this brick, this should have come straight down. And it's amazing how this thing starts coming together, you know. And then this will come straight down, and when it dries, I'll make it a little darker. But you can see, I purposely I'm going to leave all this, and then you get your little lanterns in there, you know, and that kind of stuff really does stand out at you, and jump out at you, I should say. Now let's just kind of put some of those peckerwood holes in there. Well, I'll tell you though, the reason I did is I got my thermostat fixed, so
Oh,
we're not going to have any
now that's
problems
no
anyway.
excuse.
Y'all know that story? So we tell so many stories on poor Joe. But he
Joe,
actually,
what'd you do this time?
it was so cold in here one night.
Well, it
we
was
couldn't
cold,
get the heater to
doggone it.
work. He sat over in the corner with a blanket and put the blow dryer on his feet and let the blow dryer
Oh, my
blow
God.
all night long.
It was one of those U-Haul blankets Larry had. I'm not sure where he
Yeah.
got it.
Larry went around and closed all the blinds, cause he didn't want
Yeah.
anybody
I tell you what,
to
those
see
U-Haul
Joe.
Lock the doors.
With
Those
a blanket.
those U-Haul blankets are not very
We're
comfortable.
not taking
They're
any more
stiff.
applications.
Yeah, they're very stiff.
Not right now.
A little scratchy.
Darn things. They're scratchy and stiff. I know. They make them out of toe sacks, I think.
Hey, see how this, notice I'm changing the subject.
Yeah.
Now see how that's got a little more yellow
we
in it?
noticed that.
Well, I'm just taking some of that yellow and putting it over there, and you don't notice the
Make it all
difference.
Yeah,
Just-
I
we'll
like
let
the
it-
way that's running a little
Until we
bit.
got into
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
that's
happy
good.
accident.
That's good.
Let's see. Let's just come on now. We'll put the blow dryer down. Remember how easy, now this was a little easier to do than this is going to be. But it's really still not a big deal, as you're going to see in just a minute. Main thing is you get one little small smither of color. I said, we've been down there so many times sketching and painting this place, I feel like I know it by heart, you know. But still one of my favorites was that one Joe did at that window. Okay. We got it working now. Okay, good. All right, now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of that burnt sienna, and I think that the burnt sienna will be a good color. Maybe put a little bit of the black in it. Tone it down a little bit just to gray it and age it.
Oh, that's a nice tree.
It sure is.
See, and
I always
We
learn
just
so
learn
much.
so,
I know.
don't we?
I see it's a little bit on the bright side, but it'll dry. Just like what I want. And what you want to always do is control this part of it, see, because we're going to put a wash over all three doors. They're very similar doors. And then you can just come back in and start feeding off of the darks. See, so we're going to just put that first one in just like that. See, McCrady's, we all remember, McCrady's was right down the street to the left this way. And so I'd park my car around there and I'd walk down this way every week. Every day, rather. But so many colorful memories. I never will forget. We've had a fellow that became pretty well-known jazz artist and was playing up until a few years ago. He was real old, playing at the Jazz Preservation Hall, and he had a little record store next to my school. And just something that he was caught up in years already. He posed for the school sometime with his clarinet, but he had around the First World War, he had played for one of the presidents with a band. It was really a well-known fellow, but I'd sit down and we'd just talk till I went to school every morning just about. It was real interesting. It was very colorful, the whole atmosphere there. You see, you could also put a little blue in it if you wanted to.
These doors have stoops.
And we
that
gray
go
it down
all
the same
right
way
there.
at this stage.
I guess it was built one door at a time.
The what now?
Well, some of the doors come down lower than others.
Well, these two are down to the levels
All the
here.
way down, I know.
You see, and these are
And then
facing
these
that
have
facial
like a-
board. That's where the difference comes in. Yeah, we got plenty of time. Okay.
Just darn near finish this thing.
I wouldn't get that carried away, Joe. Just wanted
It's
to make sure.
nice to have it all connected.
Yeah, it is, and I thought about doing a little bit up here, but I decided I'm gonna. Tell us about your
Hey.
cruise next week here.
Oh, you're going on a cruise.
Been on one.
Okay.
Wow. I wish I was going.
Okay.
A cruise is a great vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Really is.
I love it.
Big place to gain weight.
And look at I guess I'm the only one who gets shut down.
We went down for 18.
I've only been on one and it was all nice.
I was on one. I met a guy named Jamaica Joe. Man, he was a pretty famous fellow from the islands down there.
Lost his
And
hair.
James Brown was on one of them.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what.
Nicholas is going on a trip at the end of school with school.
Where you going?
Going first more Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii.
Then I'm going to
Gonna
Sydney,
do it.
Australia.
You gonna do a cruise in Hawaii or?
Flying.
Can you
Flying to
imagine?
Hawaii, then we're on a dinner cruise in Sydney.
Oh,
And then after that, we're going to Auckland, New Zealand.
Good. Oh, that'd
Which
be
school
fun.
do you go to?
University of
wow.
Look, our big
Which
trip
island
was
in
to go
Hawaii?
down to New Orleans.
Which island? Which island?
It's
It's going to Pearl Harbor.
I wanted to
I've
go
never been
to
to
Sorrento.
Oahu. I've been.
Solace,
I
maybe.
think I might go to
Really
a couple
go
of
for a
them.
while.
Yeah, well, we got to go to the Baton Rouge Zoo and that was pretty
We're
exciting.
gonna go. We're gonna go
Make
to
sure the
Sydney.
tigers don't come.
Go to
We have,
Sydney?
we have to go. We have
Going to the Sydney
For
Opera
one
House.
day, in each place we go, we have to do something like organize, like go to see an attraction there or something. And the rest of the days we just do whatever we want to do.
That's
How long
easy.
you gonna be in Australia?
Oh, I think a week.
Oh, wait.
It's the whole
You,
trip is 12 days.
It's incredible. I went to the Sydney Opera House and
That's
went
what
to
we're
an
gonna do.
opera. It is not an opera.
Now,
I
when we
went to
come along here, I want
Oh,
y'all
it
to notice,
was
we're
so
coming up under
amazing.
here, and I'm starting to put some areas in here while this is still wet. See, some of it I want dry, but on this, it's critical that you just get that dark up underneath there like that, and you want to drag it down a little bit. Might have got a little bit more blue in there than I wanted to, but it doesn't really matter.
Dragging it.
Mhm.
I can get the dark in there.
Mhm.
I forget to drag it in.
Mhm.
So see where we got the burn, it's all gonna dry a lot lighter. And then after it
Yes.
dries a little bit more, I'm gonna come back and,
But you can keep going.
I'm gonna probably just come back and put some of this, I want that real dark under there to be solid, but it's amazing. And then right under it, if you remember, we have this little area that drops down and it's
He's
kind of that
dropping there.
grayish brownish area there. There we go.
That must be the word of the night, huh? Down,
Mhm.
drops down.
Drops down.
Dropsy.
Mhm.
Wasn't that a disease they used to call me? Years back in the
Me without caffeine.
dropsy.
You
Get you one of those monster
You missed
drinks.
it?
I do better today.
What are you drinking?
Just eat half now, 'cause that's.
But you could still have
I
caffeine.
know, but I was trying to
Tell
be
you,
supportive.
I drink the Diet Coke, and I got off of that for a year, and that's my coffee, okay. And got so bored with drinking water and orange juice, and
Give me
went
the
back
good
to
stuff.
drinking Diet Coke.
Good for you. Don't believe we worry about all that
I
stuff
drink
too
real
much
high
anyhow.
cane Coke, real sugar, real caffeine.
Well, that's all.
Okay,
And
now,
a lot of it.
let's move back to the door. Let's focus on what we're doing here now. All right, we're going in for the kill.
The kill.
All right.
We're gonna get out ultramarine blue and burn over. We're gonna just, as they say in the better art circles, we're gonna take off on this thing like a scalded dog. Now, let's get a little bit of that Elizabeth crimson in there. We've been missing
I
that
heard
red.
the art killed the
It's better art circles.
other day.
This is about as good as they come.
That's right. Okay, now, we want this area to just be solid. So we're gonna come down like this. And what I want you to watch is how many things you can come in here and do to really play up that part that we're trying to play up, which is the antiquity of it. We'll come across like this.
It's the same color as your building over there, huh?
What's
Pretty
that?
close.
Yes, and it's in here too. That is
I
time.
didn't think
What's
we
that?
could actually
That
do
color.
again.
It's in here.
Yeah,
and it's-
well that's, yeah, so, well Sarah, that's the beauty of using 5 colors,
That is amazing.
because they're gonna always repeat somewhere.
Well, that is pretty smart.
Isn't that goodness?
Yeah,
You're
you really,
guaranteed to have connectivity.
that's right,
Mhm.
Color harmony.
she's learning, Joe.
For that too.
Now, little thing you always wanna remember, I remember Roland Golding's the one that taught me this, is that, like, we're not seeing this end right here, so we know this has got a little indenture, so we're gonna do this and this, and then we're gonna come down here, and we're gonna come down here, and then we're gonna just put this line, and we're gonna leave that space, and let the eye close it. You dig?
Mhm.
You just come down like this, and it just keeps it from being so monotonous.
Do you arbitrarily decide which side?
Well, the light's decides it, see?
That's
The light's
fine.
coming from over
Yeah,
here, so that's the
fine.
shadow under there. And then when you come down on the bottom part of this thing, you get another area like this, another area like this, and then what you really have here, let's see, I don't have that. You have several areas that on these doors where it's like larger slats. That's a good word to use. So you can just kind of, and I'll come back and break them up a little bit more later. I'll watch it.
Now, what kind of brush is that?
This is just this is a 1/4 inch flat, same thing I've been using. See, I like to do that and then come back in, and while it's wet, come in. It's just helps the antiquity of it again. See, write that word down, Joe.
That's
Antiquity, I'm gonna
a
get
great word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good word.
And you got to watch you don't overdo all of it, though. You know, that's the big key.
You gotta get that antiquity brush.
Yeah.
That's right.
I always think, oh, what's his name with
We'll
the
leave some of these
foliage
like
brush
areas.
that was a bunch of rubber bands.
Who was
Oh.
that? Who was
Who
that?
was
I
that?
remember that.
No.
Was that somebody here?
Yeah, yeah.
Who had the rubber
Who was
band
that?
brush?
Bobby, was it Bobby Broke? I think it was.
I don't.
He had there's a bunch of rubber bands.
And that was
They
the
supposedly
foliage
it
brush.
made perfect foliage.
Well, how does foliage look?
Like it's been done with a bunch of
Like
rubber
rubber
bands.
What do you do with it?
It was kind of like a mop, I guess.
He
Oh.
couldn't, yeah, it was no pattern to it.
Oh,
so
okay.
Foliage
Yeah.
brush.
he thought it was,
And poor thing got laughed out the door with that foliage brush.
that might be where Ann come
I
from.
know.
Yeah. Well, he can come on Thursday, because we don't know.
Oh,
what
that's
to do.
nice. Look at that.
Yeah, we take anybody on Thursday.
I'm proof.
I didn't say that.
I did.
That is wonderful.
Thank you. And you just got to watch, because you can just have so much fun with it. Got to watch, you don't start getting carried away. Now, see, it gets a little boring. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to antique. Now that I've really established the basic thing itself, I'm going to come back in. Of course, we're going to have to tone this inside board down here and get rid of that mess up I got there. So we'll just pull that like that. See, and it just really starts all doing its thing. Look at that, man, wow. Now see, here's where you can come across and leave some of those slats.
What was that
I mean, anybody that
the other day when I
sends a
when I
weenie
made-
wagon for a Christmas card, right, ought to tell you something right now.
I'll tell you what.
Well, Joe did a weenie wagon this year.
Yeah.
A
No.
smaller version.
No, that was not an Oscar mile.
It was a lucky dog.
A lucky dog.
That's kind of like
Man,
the weenie wagon.
I'll tell you what, Joe, I want you to know, Gary's very gracious. Even Linda Esnard, you never would have used
No, that's
it.
right. I never heard the end of it.
That's exactly right, man. I mean, he just almost had the sole usage of that. He even got a letter of commendation from the weenie people.
From Oscar Mayer.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Did you
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Sure
Yeah.
did.
He's a national
Did
hero.
you send him
Oh,
Christmas?
my
I
God.
sent him a Christmas card.
Okay.
Yeah, he sure did.
I thought about sending Coca-Cola one of these, but I thought well, they'd probably get me for that, messing up their end.
They made me an honorary hot dogger.
Oh,
Really?
They
now,
sure did.
are you-
It's Lucky Dog. I need to look them up
That
on the
I don't
internet.
know.
I wonder if they're
They're
a,
out of New Orleans.
you think they
No,
are?
no. Oh, they might be now.
You know, I read that
Okay,
Confederacy.
I want to show y'all
addresses,
something real
and it
quick
says-
now, just so we can, now see how I'm coming back in, and I'm gonna leave a little space, but I want to just show you how the ambiance of this changes when you come back and put those bricks in there. How pretty it is. So we're gonna do this. Did Jim leave?
No,
Oh,
he
okay, good.
didn't tell us that.
Can you see how that just starts
Wow.
to settle everything down, and then you come over here and you do. I'm getting a little sidetracked. I can do that when we're not doing here. Let's go ahead and go to our next area there.
We only got 4 minutes to build a door.
Well, we'll just have to build one more, Joe. Well, what I'll do is I'll build the door, and then I might just finish the other one during the week. Can I get permission to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure about
Well,
They're in there laughing at us.
that. Well, they are snickering over there.
Oh, there's some snickering.
Well,
going on.
Gary, I may be having these things this whole collection sold. I need it for the collection.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to get my work. A workshop I'm going to, not this weekend, but the next. It's going to be the whole weekend. I hadn't got my picture done yet, but it's no big deal.
What kind
Where
of
is the workshop? Tell us.
It's
all
going to be in
about
Galliano, Louisiana.
And what are y'all gonna do?
They wanted, sir, they wanted oil and watercolor.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna
Gee, that's your specialty.
I'm gonna try to do, I gotta watch how I do it where I don't make it too elaborate. And, I got 25 people, believe it or not. But the only problem's gonna be the wet on wet, so you know what I figured out I'm gonna do? I might do it with like 8, and then another 8, and another 8. The rest of them, you know, cause the only part I worry about is the wet on wet part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so easy to get to,
Well, you know,
confused and,
you gotta be there for them, you know.
yeah.
So. Wait a minute. Okay. Well, we're just gonna ad lib a little bit more than this one.
We're gonna change this door.
It's different anyway.
Yeah, we did. No, what it's got is it's got a frame like this. It's a little different color. Okay, and the way I'm gonna do it, we're gonna do this, and then that a little sharper. Okay, and then I'm gonna come in. And what we want to leave is we want to come in and put our darker area in here. Now this is what I'm gonna drop down to number 4.
What's in Galliano? Shrimp boats?
It's down on Bayou Lafitte, close to Grand Isle,
Oh, okay.
and it's just a little fishing town. You know, it's been there forever. When I went to Italy, with the state of Louisiana at that time, we made that trip in '93. We went right through Galliano into Sicily.
You're gonna have fun down there.
I guess so. It's, to be honest with you, it's gonna be a little bit pushed, you know, time-wise, because.
You got 2 days running?
I've gotta leave class and then go over there, and, yeah, I'm gonna be there 2 days straight, back to back. And but I've done it. I like it. You know what I did? Well, we're not gonna, we can't fake a metric this. I'll tell you what. Let's see if I can pull it off.
See,
It's a
that's
good
the
time to
trick we're
stop.
learning right there.
Yeah, see, and then what I did is I got the value in it that I want. We'll come back now. We'll put it to light brown. Let's go ahead and, we'll call it this
All
for
right.
tonight, and then I'll put my boards in. See, the boards here are long ways, and you won't even be able to tell the difference. What you think?
Gonna be
it's
good.
wonderful.
Already
That,
is.
that is a lot of progress.
You gonna shut her down?
Yeah, I think so. Especially after what I.
Back at it down. I don't know why it quit.
Because it never started.
Oh.
Okay, now thank you here.
Thanks.
Okay, now we're gonna come on back like this. How's that out there now? That's good. Okay, we're gonna come on like this. And then I try to randomly do it. See, I'll hold that sideways and pull it different ways, and then, you know, just get some of these lighter ones up here. Doesn't really matter about the color.
Like painting bricks.
It's really very much the same, Sarah, and a lot of it I'm gonna purposely leave white. It's just hard to, you know, you get a certain amount of this texture and all you gotta put in here, so it's not the easiest thing in the world to simplify this stuff like you might do some other things, but we're gonna get it. Primary thing we want is we want to get the lightest color. And then we're going to come back with some other colors over it, whatever that light color we want it to be. And see, I'll just kind of leave it here, and then I'll put another one here. It doesn't really matter because, like, as we go through it, we're going to change a lot of it and do a lot of different things to it, but this is going to be our good base coat right here. Skip a little bit. And then a lot of it I'll put in solid, so we'll just create the effect we want to create with line. And then I might switch now to some of this light brown color and put up here, and put a little bit of it over here in some of these light areas. But I want to kind of reserve those lights for a little bit later on when I can come back in and just put different colors and do whatever I want to do with it.
I find it so hard to save the lights.
To do what?
To save those lights.
Oh man, it really, it's
You get carried away.
Mhm.
it's a
Next thing you know,
constant
you don't
fight.
Before
have
you
any.
know it, they're all gone.
Yep, that's right. You're so right. Well, it's a disciplined medium, man, I'll tell you.
Now, you do a good job of saving your lights, Sal.
I have to
You have to
really
fight it, though, huh?
concentrate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we all, I think, do, relatively speaking. It's just something you gotta play with and hang in there with it. Now, see, I like to do this, and I don't have a lot of contrast or anything, other than what I've got here, and then come over just a little bit across the bottom. So I like to get to the part where we can really start laying it in very, very fluidly. And so, in fact, a lot of this I want to just take and just put it in there. Now, I probably used another blue on this, on something else I did, but this is really going to be fun. But see, notice, you got to keep the lights, because it's got to be this contrast in here. The sound is okay out there, I guess. I'm getting an echo. I don't know whether it's just my...
It's turned up a little bit, Larry. I turned it down a little. Seemed like it was a little bit loud.
No, but this one doesn't have... Oh, that looks good.
It
That's what
looks really good, yeah.
Now, is it okay?
Yeah.
Good. I'm getting an echo in here that's kind of abnormal, and
You sure that has to do with the machinery?
Yeah.
well, and I'll tell you what, it could be the voices.
Oh.
They're talking to you again?
Very possible.
That should be better.
Okay. Yeah. You got the sound out there?
Yeah, I got sound, but it was a little loud to start with.
Oh,
That's
okay,
just
that
one
may
reason you
have
get
been
echo
what's backing up.
feedback.
All right, now, I think it's the last thing I want to do. I'm going to take a little bit of that burnt sienna again. Whoop, alizarin crimson. I'm going to take that burnt sienna and
What happens?
add a little bit of blue to it.
Alizarin crimson.
Kind of gray it down a little
It's
bit.
kinda gross.
Especially want to come across the top.
If it's really watered down.
The point I'd like to get to tonight is just to,
Like flesh color.
just to show you all. I think I'm going to put a little more red in that tile. It's like a lot of it you use your imagination and block it in, see? And then a lot of this I'm going to create with the lawn work.
Yeah.
I told you all the story of how they used to make these things,
Yeah.
didn't I? Where
Mm-hmm.
they would actually, when they made the whatever it is that they formed it over there. This part right here.
That's how they make Cuban cigars. They roll them under their arm.
Oh, I hope that's not true.
I knew y'all wasn't gonna believe that when I told you. I'm the only one of you guys, except maybe the Dave, that's been to Cuba.
That believes that.
Listen to anybody listening to this in 100 years from now. I have really tried my best
It's okay, I know, but in the
to
summer
give
it
them
gets
a
kind of
little
sweaty.
culture. And I think it's been very, very little.
You probably help the society out then, you know, by giving them a bit of reality. Some
Yeah.
good old stuff, you know.
Oh, yeah. Information, that's what
Yeah,
they
you
need.
missed us, Dave.
Now, we're going to come across like this. Well, this is where I love this getting and loosening up stuff.
Yeah, that neat.
Try to get that brushwork bravado in there, man. Just let it go. Hey, enjoyed it.
Bye
He's
now.
loading up. He's loading up while I'm
I
watching.
think
Oh,
he's
okay.
hungry,
I
man.
didn't think he was gonna.
Y'all
buy
going to
me
eat?
Nope.
Oh,
He
okay.
has a test tomorrow.
Oh, man. Bless it. Oh, man.
Oh.
Boy, he's doing good.
some. Yeah.
Really glad to have him back here.
Me too.
I told him tonight how much I appreciated him coming back. And
He is such a precious.
He really is.
Y'all keep him full. I'll get him through
Yeah. No.
the next 2 years of school.
Look, we've been there. We've all been
Yeah,
there.
that's right.
Yeah.
We wouldn't take the joy away from him. All right, now, you see, I'm just gonna come in, and I'm just gonna put in just a little bit of whatever. I mean, that's the stuff, it has everything on it.
Now the voices have started.
Well, that's what I've been waiting for now.
Yeah, you can see that they're talking to
I
us.
wish I had my toupee right now with my antenna on it, man. They gave me a toupee over in Mandeville. I got a class of practical jokers, Dave. And it's a toupee with an antenna on it, so when I hear the voices, they come in clearer. And
Does it work?
He probably hasn't tried it enough. You got,
man, this is just fun.
uh-huh.
You just start letting it go, just let it roll. Now, I don't want to lose a lot of these light areas. Now, see,
See, I have to really
that's
focus on
that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Cause see, I got to remember. I want to kind of see some of this. I might have got a little bit darker than I really wanted to. I can pick that up soon. Yeah. Am I still on the screen?
Perfect.
Okay. And now see what you do is you go through various stages of simplification. Okay, like I'm gonna put like certain sections like this, and then I'm gonna come back and just whatever down here. I mean, just doesn't really matter. But then you continually keep loosening up. Okay, we got enough time. I'm gonna try to get this thing done tonight. So you gotta keep that action going in the right direction like that. Sounds good.
Just missing the drink.
If
Well, I
you
don't
got your
know.
way.
I don't know, they got really good drinks right here.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna come a little bit further now. And I'm gonna start mixing some whatever colors. And this is where I want to start really breaking it down and just getting a little bit more reckless now. See, and let that come through.
Oh, yeah.
But see how that starts giving it a solidity now?
A patina.
And or what?
Patina. Is that a new word?
Yeah.
That's kind of like ethereal.
Okay.
Are you rewriting the dictionary? It's all right. But those colours are fantastic.
Aren't they awesome? And see, I haven't really done my magic stuff on it yet, Dave. When I come in and I start putting the final line work in, that's when it really, really begins to, and I'm just taking a general mixture. Now see, I notice, and a lot of this, this is painting. I've told this story before, but for people like David just here, I'll repeat it. It's a painting that was my bread and butter painting going to art school, and I sold one to everybody in our neighborhood. $50, a half sheet of paper. But I hadn't done one in 25 years, and I've just always loved it. So now see, can see I'm leaving some of these a little bit too white. All right, now I think I'm to a point where let's start coming in, putting our shadow. We're going to take the blue.
Oh, sorry.
What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to take the blue, and now I'm going to go to the alizarin crimson in the shadow. See, it's going to give you a little bit more of that mauve look. Okay. And now see, I still want this to be relatively transparent, so I'm going to do this. Put it on there relatively dark, light, excuse me. See, that's almost like what I want. But then I like to come in, get that little stronger dark, come under here. Now there's actually a facial board I'll put back under here, but you want that little stronger dark at the corner where it'll make it stand out a little bit more clearly that it's an edge. And I love when you can work this stuff wet on wet like that, because you get an opportunity to do a lot of things in it, and you can just come back and, you know, touch it up and tie it together and do all that kind of good stuff. Okay, now,
See y'all.
we're gonna,
Good night.
hey, enjoyed it, my man.
Take care.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Jim.
Now, I'm gonna use a primary green color in here. Okay, just for the heck of it. Now, this is gonna be see, I'm watching my values, like, actually the values here and here are gonna be the same. So I'm gonna put a little green up here, and then why not just go with a little bit of red up in this part.
Oh, I love it. That's nice. Complementary colors here.
Thank you so much, Larry. I'm gonna go to my.
Oh man, look,
Right.
good job here.
Thank you.
See, this is
Do I keep that painting on the desk or take
yeah,
it
just
with
leave
me?
it, just leave it. And look, I'll get all your stuff and we'll sell all that next week, okay?
Okay.
I haven't unloaded all these boxes in yet. I just got that in today.
Okay.
How'd you feel like you did?
I did okay until I got to the bottom of the bottle. So
Okay.
don't look at the bottom of the bottle.
Well, we'll pick, was you getting tired? That's an
You
excuse.
fix it.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Good night.
Bye,
Bye,
Julie.
all. Bye-bye.
You know, we're gonna do that. Now, what we've got here is we've got like an ultramarine blue with burnt sienna, maybe a little bit of black. Okay, and then we start getting some distinguishing characteristics, such as a board that was right up under here, whatever kind of board it was. Now that's not quite dry enough like I would like it to be. Hey, thank you, enjoyed it.
Yes.
So we're gonna do that. Now, before I forget, now this, times like this, you wouldn't mind having a little cerulean blue. Because, you know, there's colors I'd like to get in it, but the way I get around it, I'm just gonna mix a little white with it, and then do it like this, you see? And, but it's reflecting some of that blue sky. Look at that, that's really coming along great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And, now, I'm gonna, get a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Let's come into here, and I like to start popping my darks in there very quickly. So we're gonna put that board in there like that, the facial board and whatever, and bring it over. Okay. And I think,
Sunk it.
I think what I'll do, I'm gonna go ahead and just put my lines in. And then I'm gonna come across the bottom. Now notice how I'm dragging it, trying to create as much interest as I can. Skipping, you know, breaking it up a little bit. And the nice thing about this, now I'm gonna use my favorite little thing, lights on the right. This is gonna be in shadow. I'll make that a little thicker, then I'll come back and just kind of suggest this line. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here, twist that brush a little bit and get it flat. Come back down here like this. Can you see okay on the screen? I just want to make sure my big head wasn't in the way. Okay, and I'll come down here, kind of divide this a little bit more down here. Now, I'm pretty close to what I want. I've got all my lights and all in there, so let's just grab some of that whatever color now. I know what I want to do. I want to put my lines across here. Well, I love the way you can just loosen up with this stuff, not worry about it. All right, now we're just going to take different colors, and we're just going to start here and just dry brush them across. Oh man, isn't that pretty?
That's so much fun.
And try not to work this out over too much. Now, see, I noticed some things I came back and did I had forgotten about. It's so old, you know, you just want to kind of antique it a little bit when you do some of this stuff. Well, let's go ahead and put this in here.
Larry, are you doing it differently in any way from when you did it before?
I think you are, because I'm not really using that as a guideline to do it. I don't, I'm not conscious of it, Sarah, but you have to be, because I'm just glancing at a photograph of one that I did 25 years ago. It's not really the greatest photograph.
But you think you're looser than now than you
Oh,
were?
I definitely, I noticed that in that other painting. I think all this brushwork bravado we've been talking about, I feel like I'm at a point where I'm really getting, I don't even really call it loose. I just think it's the decision-making process reaches a point that you're not afraid of it, and you just do it, and you do it, and you do it. And I think that's what makes it look loose. And that's what, Dave, I was talking to you about those books. That's where that's really helped me so much, because I just feel
Yeah,
like
Dave and I were looking at a book a while ago, and there's, you look in some of those areas, there's just not much detail there when you look at it really close. But it tells a story.
That's right.
It reads correctly.
And the key to it is, as much as you can leave for the imagination, and allow that other person to come in and complete the picture for you.
Give the viewer something.
And y'all all remember that that's the story I've told y'all so many times about that stewardess when we took a cruise. We took a couple of cruises with students, Dave. And I asked this young lady what she, this lady was bragging about how they enjoyed coming down on the ship. We had a promenade deck that they used to come and walk down all the time, and the captain of the ship came every day, and she said, "Want to know how much they're enjoying what we're doing on the cruise?" Now, see, when all this gets a little bit too bright, I'll get me a little green and brown, and watch what that does to it, man. That just warms it up and gets rid of a lot of that. Very neutral. And so she told, I said, "Well, which one do you," she says, "I really enjoy your work." And I said, "Which one do you like the best?" And she told me, I did one on that cruise that was real loose, and then I did another one that was really tight. And of course, I thought the one with all the detail and all that's the one that she was going to really brag, and she picked the loosest one.
The one he just sort of did as a watercolor sketch.
That's exactly right. And I said, "Well, I'm surprised." And I told her why. I was honest with her. I said, "Now, why did you choose that one?" And she said, "Because all the rest of them, I really appreciate every bit of your work, but all of them are very complete." And she said, "You don't allow me room to come in and finish any area of it for you.
Well, she was
But the
very
loose ones,
insightful.
you allow me to end the picture and complete it myself." And man, I never
That's a
forgot
good
that
insight.
lesson, Dave. That was really perceptive
Yeah.
on her part.
Yeah, many people would make the choice, but they wouldn't know why.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, see, these things are so old, they really can't catch really light. See, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and
Well, look at that on the TV.
Oh, it's
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it's
I'm trying to leave that little extra.
yeah, you're making a sale.
Okay, I appreciate that. Let's see,
Well,
it's
I
about
was
3 minutes after. I'm
reading
gonna take a
of,
couple of minutes more here.
Go ahead. I was reading about an artist who I guess is kind of old, and he was saying that looking back at his work, he wished that he had stopped before he did on just about everything he ever painted.
He wished that he what?
He just stopped before he did,
stopped
yeah.
Before he did stop. He
Yeah.
he put in a little bit more than he should have.
Oh well, yeah.
That's easy.
That's something we all play with, But I don't ever worry about that. That doesn't really. I'm gonna do it when it's done. It's done. I don't mind if I go back later, but it's not a big deal. It never has been to me. I mean, because I guess I've been doing this 50 years now, and you learn that when you look up on that wall and you see one that's been up there about 6 months, watch what this is going to do. This is when it starts really singing. When you watch one that's been up there about 6 months, and then you start seeing all the mistakes, I've just found that okay, now see, come back up. I'm going to have a little bit of, I don't know what I'm doing here. This this is darker, see, than that shadow. That's what I was trying to establish before we went home tonight. Because this is where you start making it settle down. So, watch when that dries. You'll see what I'm
Look at
talking
that,
about. And then I'll come in and I'll take this flat brush now and get away from some of the detail. It doesn't really matter, see, it's just try not to make it too busy where it's competing. And let's just do a couple more little things on that roof. And let's see, they didn't have anything in there, no. So we're gonna come in and actually do all the thing here. And here. Create a little dark like that. And I think I want to maybe take a little bit of this here, right at the front, make that front stand out better. And then, see, and then you want to start purposely losing things. And then you do find, like on these old shutters here, you're going to get a few areas like this where some of the shutters are gone.
You're missing.
And that really enhances it a little bit more. And then let's just make sure these are clearer. Well, we want them to be clear, because they kind of lost some of that. I don't want to do it on all of it, but see how they faded like that? Well, I do want that to be. And I'll maybe have one missing down here. That just gives it a little bit more of an antique look. And one last thing, and we'll call it finished for tonight, because I will show you what I'm going to do on these things up here. It really makes a difference. Because you just come in like this and like this. See, real.
Wow,
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
See, this is the part at the end. I haven't finished doing that other stuff yet. With what I'm gonna tone down, like I feel like up at that roof, the top of that roof already. So I like to come in with that flat brush right at the end, and we'll start taking some of this color like this and making that. I want that a little bit more distinguished against the sky. See, and you can start putting it in groups now, and not be, and then so like this maybe come down a little bit more. So that it's got more definition.
You can move down just a little bit.
Thank you, Joe.
There, up there.
See how that brought that out there?
Yes.
And then some of this right here later, well, if that wasn't quite, and I don't think it's quite dark enough, I'll darken it a little bit more. But, and then you notice at the bottom, I purposely came back in, and it's always going to be relative to making something stand out or recede. So I'm going to come back in and make this part right here a little stronger, just to make that edge stand out a little bit more, you see.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I want to do, now that that's all completely dry,
I love colors.
Don't you like that?
I love that.
That's nice.
I want to come in and I really want this to be specific.
Well, it is now.
Good. I'll blend it a little bit like that.
Fabulous. Look at it on the screen.
Oh, yeah,
See?
Joe, I'm satisfied.
Oh, you should be. Man, that is.
You know, I think when you get to a certain point, you begin to realize a lot more maturely what's important and what's not important. I'm going to do one last thing just to give you all an idea of how this is going to be affected when we come back in next week, and I'll put a few more little finishing touches. See, what you want is, you depend on this, you see. This is what brings it alive. I remember that I've got stuff by a fellow named Herb Olson, man, that used to do these old shutters on the side of the of these New England boathouses, and he'd just slap all kind of color on there, but right at the end he'd put that kind of stuff in there, boy, and it really.
Look at that. That is just.
Isn't that nice?
that is
And we'll do a little bit more on that later.
What a
and then
great lesson.
Well, I thank you. I thank you. And what we'll do, we'll finish that, and we'll do the, we'll finish that, do the chimney. We need to have one chimney lesson.
Oh, we do.
And then we'll get whatever we get done on that next week, and then we'll go to something else. Now, what I love, Dave, is the way we set this up. I don't have any rules, man. I'll use whatever I want to use. Like I say, some of this over here, if it looks a little bit on the dark side, I'm gonna mix me a violet-looking color, and I'm gonna come back in. I'm not just illustrating it. You know, we just take off and do whatever, but let's put the mat on it and see what it looks like.
Oh, right there too.
And just thank you.
Whatever works, is what we do.
That's right. Thank you.
Now, this is exciting to see this coming together.
Yeah, that's
And enough to
thank
put
you,
a
Sarah.
mat
Y'all
on
are such a great support group, man.
We just love to see you paint.
And
Look at that.
I think that's as high as I can get it up, but I want to get it where we can put that whole thing on the screen. Look at that now.
It's wonderful.
See, and that's why I like to come back. Now, see, I'll do one thing and watch what this is going to do. And this is truly the last thing. And but I remembered it bothered me a little bit earlier. So I didn't leave this kind of white on there. But I'm glad I did now. See, because I can come back and add a lot of water to it. I can kind of tone that area down. And look at how pretty that's going to
Oh,
be.
yes,
See?
beautiful dry brush.
That is beautiful.
That's nice.
And now it puts the emphasis back where we want it.
That's beautiful.
Well, I certainly do appreciate it. And Dave Porter, we are just so glad to have you back, man.
It's nice to be back, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Shut her down.
Time to shut it down. We'll be back again
We'll be
next.
clearing 32 in the morning.
Is that
All
right?
right, children.
Yes, sir.
We're ready to get
Here we go.
started.
Okay.
Now, let's try a little bit of a chimney tonight.
Oh,
Now, Joe, is that sound on that one out there? Turn it on the radio off. Let's just really bring it up, because this will be one of the few chimney lessons I'll probably ever have, and it's just so easy to do.
this is going to be dramatic.
Yeah, it really will be. I got away from it. I hit it, and I just put it out of the way and came back, and man, y'all just really been encouraging me and spurring me on.
Okay.
We certainly
They got sound out there, Joe?
like to see you do it.
All right, now we're gonna come in with a little bit of the burnt sienna and the red. That's a little bit too red. The way I like to do these bricks, what I do is I start, get my brush out. I like to start with them kind of light, a little bit more, maybe just more in the burnt sienna range where I think they would be. A little bit more pigment on there. You don't have to be worried in the shadow as much, so it's a good place to start them. I think if I bear down just to right them, yeah, that's going to be just about perfect. Okay. Oh man, you just look at that. Okay, see, and then after you do that, get some little darker color. You come back in and you start burying them a little bit. See.
See, I don't love doing it the first time. Oh, you have to come back.
Deborah, I know it should be kind of hard for you to get away, but you're welcome to come with us next week.
We're going to Jack's.
Where are we going?
We're going to Jack.
We could take Kitty. It's
What's the plan?
well, we'll have to go to Plan B, so
Plan
we
B,
figure
okay.
out what it's going to be.
We should turn on
So
the meter.
that's
Hey, there you go. We'll go take some pictures and
I'll
come
take
back.
you all over to Yara and clear out a place over there.
Oh, Joe, that'd be great.
We can do that.
No, but the thing is, we'll just bring the stuff and just get up there. And,
Oh, yeah.
And we'll clean up the, we'll
Yeah,
I'll bring one of my small printers and.
That's February 2nd.
How's that?
No, we're not on. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you see, I'm coming back and I'm making some of it a little bit darker. Coming back like this. And see, the primary thing, now, but what's gonna really blow your mind is when I get through this whole thing, I just get me a big brush, and see, I made one of them straight through like that. What, me worry? Shoot. You taking off?
Yeah, well, I'm watching you
Okay,
now.
you want, hey,
This
look,
is the
come sit around
highlight.
here.
This is our highlight for Thursday
Yeah, I know,
night.
always part I like,
Get-
watch him.
But
This is
you
our,
can't tell me anymore.
I gotta have my senior citizen, demo, and then you heard what I said.
I did.
Okay.
Is that what you
Well,
meant
if we
to
find
say?
some senior citizens, we'll let you have it done.
Sarah,
In
you
the
over
meantime,
there.
we'll just have to do.
Now, see, like when I get here, I don't worry. See, I'm changing colors, just doing, you know, just anything I can to create interest. What I love is when you get into these different textures. That brick lay, I think, was out on the binge, and
Well,
that's very
The
typical.
ones that made the
I was
bricks
gonna
and
say,
the ones
this
that
New
laid the
Orleans.
bricks both were a little carried away sometimes.
Now, then we'll come over to this other area that's going to be relatively light. Let's go more with the plain burnt sienna. And I did kind of do most of this because sometimes I'll just do it and I'll stagger the bricks, you know. And if I get out of sync like I did just now, I just put a line straight across. You know, I don't worry about it. And the main thing, just don't fuss.
Sweat the small stuff.
That's right.
The hardest part
I
for
live
me
for
is
the
to
small
keep them in
stuff.
straight, in the right.
But you know, if you just get a plan
Gets off.
and they break up and they don't follow that exactly, sometimes I think it looks better, Sarah, if you don't have it perfect. You know, I think it looks more like
Well,
it.
they were handmade bricks and
Exactly.
they were different.
And,
No, but I've gotten them pretty crooked at times.
yeah, well,
And that's not.
I always feel like mine are not going to make it, you know. Every time I do them, I'm serious. But you know, then it seems like I get a little bored and I'll just start making straight lines again. Okay.
That reads right.
Now, that's going to give us enough of what we want right there. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1/2-inch brush and I'm going to take a little bit of the blue and a little bit of the Elizabeth Crimson. Get our favorite color there.
And there's nothing that does like that. Crimson.
And then let's take a little brown and put it in just to kind of gray it down a little bit. I tell you, Joe, you know, when Sandra was here, and she had that place down in Leeville, I had already determined that I was going to make a trip down there to check it out, you know, just see what is it really worth going down there for a sketching trip and
Look
all.
at that, how beautiful.
Oh,
I
man.
was just looking, thinking,
It
now
is
I would have made mine so much thinner and had to put a ton of
Well, that doesn't mean
layers
that
on
might not have been right, too, you know.
But yours seems to be doing really nice. And you're going over it just once.
Well, that going over it once now, that's a, holy man.
Wasn't that pretty?
That
And so then
was
what I like to do as I've gotten a lot older and,
wiser.
not necessarily.
Oh, me, I gave up on that.
Yeah.
But I have gotten older. And it's almost inevitable.
Wiser's not, I don't think it's that important.
What are the people that think about these videotapes 100 years?
They only see you though, they don't see them.
No, they hear it.
And all they see is the top of my head.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're gonna see
But
it.
they
right
hear
there.
'em.
And a lovely
I mean, you should,
head.
you should hear some of the stuff I got on these. I could blackmail so many of them, man.
Oh,
Stuff that they said on these videotapes.
We've been doing it now for so long, we've forgotten.
But they are my
Wow,
my
that
class
is
where I get
so
inspirated.
nice.
Yeah.
Look,
Isn't that
look.
nice?
It's just
Uh,
amazing.
You see smoke coming out of that chimney.
I think so.
And they have consistently, in a lot of classes, asked me to do this, and all when they hear they're doing it, they get jealous. And I'll do it once or twice, and then people really just kind of go their own way with it, so. But this is where I really, I think I've really done a lot of my growing, Been a very humbling experience with this bunch. I'll tell you one thing right now, because they don't have any mercy,
We
man.
don't cut him any slack.
I had 3 of them one night, Rhonda, that was on me so bad that at the end
Well, I
of the
mean, he
painting,
was
I
making
put
a
3
big
turkeys
mess.
in it.
Any name?
That's a fact, and I named them. I'm not going to name names, but
Certainly hope not.
I'll tell you who they
Well,
were.
Cherie,
yeah, bro.
Cherie was pretty hard to deal with.
You're not going to talk about sweet Cherie like that now. She knows Cherie now. So you know Cherie Fry? She used to be Chatelaine.
Well, the lead
No,
turkey
sorry.
was named Cherie.
She's had some nice work in the show out there.
Wow, that is
Where's
so
that?
awesome.
At Denham.
When I,
Oh, man, thank
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's had some nice work.
Do you live out there, Rhonda? In Denham?
Y'all still live in the same place?
no, well, we live out on Ben Road, further out in Watson. We built a house and just moved in there.
Oh,
about
another
a year
one?
ago this
Another,
December.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Miley passed away. I figured you probably knew that.
Which one was that? Oh,
You remember old Mr. Miley,
Oh,
that we
really?
used to see down at McDonald's all the time.
yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
So all that,
Yeah.
yeah, he was about 93 now. I miss him though, man. He used to, he like Mr. Paul Odom. I don't think you probably would know him, but that was Jack's Odom's.
Yeah, I heard of
You know
Jack.
Jack, right? Well, that's his father, and he's the one that, he was an icon in the area. He came in, and he came from Tennessee, and banking was a whole lot different. Like if the Social Security was a day late coming in, it's second instead of the first, he'd give them their money, and he'd give you new people dependent on it, and he was just a wonderful man. But he was telling me how Mr. Odom had helped him, and he said there was one piece of land that he told him to go buy. And he just took a liking to him, and he said, Mr. Odom, I don't know how I'm ever going to pay for it. He said, if you can't pay for it, I'll pay for it. But he said, you need, and of course he bought it, and then that was, probably his retirement. But, man, what is that looking like? Is that
It's
looking
looking
great? Is that,
incredible.
said I'm getting a little bit more of this on here. Oh, man, y'all are so inspirating.
It is. It does look incredible.
Yeah, we're not going to have to put a turkey in this one.
Good. Okay. I'm sure the
That
audience
sure
would
is
appreciate
a good-looking chimney.
would appreciate it. Yeah, we just got that chimney. Now we're just coming back in here and just kind of darkened a couple of areas here. Now let's come back and finish this. But I had these kind of wide boards on this one for whatever reason.
They ran out of small ones. Yeah.
How's that?
They ran out of small ones.
That's probably
so
it.
they
Yeah,
had
you
big
use
ones.
big ones.
Probably. And I used to walk, I tell you what brings back so many memories when I paint these things, is I used to walk past this place every day. I see, when I went back in there with that much burnt sienna, I lost, I kind of made a different color, so I'm going to come back with this, and then I'll take a little bit of black and put it in this color here. I use black now that I never did before too, Rhonda.
I noticed.
Yeah, and everybody, but I just, I just read all the time and read about different opinions about it, and I just decided that I like it for when you want to pop a dark in. I don't use a lot of it. You can come back in and pop it right in there, and do it one time. Okay, now, if you remember what we did, it's amazing how this side's built one way and this side's built another way. They divided these cottages in the middle. Sometimes there were two people living on different sides. And it's amazing how many stories I get from people about when they were dating in New Orleans or something, how many times they used to go there, and, and how much fun, back in the 50s and all, it was really a lot of fun. Enjoyed it, my man.
Just put it here for now.
That's great. Here,
Good night.
I'll pick it up.
Good evening.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
And a good week.
Appreciate it.
You too.
Okay, now we're going to come in. Let's just divide this down the middle. See, this is the fun. It took me forever to learn to loosen up like this. Well, am I glad I got my good colors back. See, what you do is you're looking from this end, so you're going to see that edge, see? So that's the edge. You want to see the other edge. In other words, this side right here, you want to see a little cast shadow, so you darken it, see? Then I like to come back in here and kind of break that up a little bit, just get kind of loose with it. And and actually I'm doing this like I did this one. I started, but the ones on these doors really, they don't have any panels in it. But you know what? I don't think in 100 years from now, the first person is going to know the difference. Now see how when you come out along these lines like this, my head's not, is this on the screen? Yeah. But you come on down like this and see you drag it and just make sure you create interesting lines. Notice that goes all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to come in like this and do the same. That's one of the reasons a lot of people get these tiny brushes, which are fun. You know, everybody's got to find their own level with that. But I like a brush that when I get started, I can just keep going and do a lot with it, not having to worry about stopping, mixing paint again. Sort of like what I'm doing right now. Okay, and then we got our little lines here, and then when it gets down to the bottom, we just kind of, again, break that up a little bit. And then we get some of this burnt sienna. Oops. All right, well, we got more than the chimney in. How about that, man? It was worth the trip.
Chimney in the door.
We got the burnt sienna. And kind of gray it down a little bit. I'll put a little bit of black. Because I don't want it to be too bright. See how subdued all this is? That's just old faded cypress, man. Let's try this now. And you want to come back and just, and that's good. You want it a little darker umber looking color. So I just dry brush that over there. And just starts doing just what it's, just blends it right in with that other one. Yeah, it's something, man. I'll tell you what. It's awesome. Come up here now, make this a little stronger here. They said that since they've renovated this thing, they ruined it, they said, but they really didn't.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Yeah, because what it is that it was caving in. I mean, they had a big stink about renovating it. But I think they finally, after 200 or 300 years, man, the whole thing was sagging every direction, you know. So Rhonda, are you still teaching now? What school are you at?
Southside Elementary.
Oh, okay. Is that where you were before? Yeah.
What grade?
How long have you been there?
Fifth grade. 6 years.
Well, you probably had one of my grandkids out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sarah. Would have been back there within the last 5 years.
Oh.
Good night, y'all. We'll see y'all next Thursday.
Hey, man, enjoyed it, partner.
She was probably one of the other fifth grade ones.
Okay, now watch under here. I want a little bit
Pretty
more.
good student, I think.
Yeah.
I want a little bit more subdued feeling like you get on these old buildings, say. So you just kind of fill that in, add that water to it. Look at the difference in that versus this over here.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Look at it on the TV.
Man, I tell you. The more I think about it.
Oh,
man,
we're not
Yeah.
on, yeah.
The more you do
Are
that,
we
the
on?
more you
Oh,
enjoy
okay.
painting.
Well, I think I'm
Oh.
I think I really am going to be an artist when I grow up.
Oh, I
I'm going
think
to try.
you
But man, I just don't want to grow up, Joe. That's my biggest problem. I asked the little girl the other day, I told her about how beautiful she did this job. And I said, you know, she was about 14, 13. I said, you did that a lot better than a lot of my adults. And she said, well, you know, Mr. Casso, to tell the truth, she said, you know, adults don't really have a lot of imagination.
Well, I hate to tell her, but she's right.
Yeah.
I
these
wish
kids.
we could be like children.
Well,
and
but we got to. Though.
jump
You know, you
in.
got to make it. Well, you do at times. You're doing better.
Yeah, I'm trying.
No, Sarah, you doing, man, you.
Maybe I
Oh man, would you just look at that?
Maybe now that I'm in my second childhood.
Joe, I think it's more like the third, man.
Third.
And then,
Yeah.
no, we're gonna
Oh, I've had three.
stop this show,
grandchildren
but
through those schools.
I did want to just, while I got all this mixed, just remind y'all we're gonna come back and start doing all that stuff. Seeing, when you get in a lot of this after you've been doing it, like we will, you know, I was worried about details and all up there. Nobody don't worry about that. But what I love is the fact you look at that. Now, see, that's why it goes so fast. And well, we got one door, and let's just while we got this color mixed here, let's put a little bit of gray here. Finish that off, and then we'll just kind of pull it across here lightly.
You make it look so easy.
I know.
Well, I hope so,
A
Sarah.
perfect little
Yeah.
stoop right there.
It's only been 50 years. I'm just so, but you know, I say that, I joke about it, but man, I tell you, so many people don't have that opportunity to ever do what they love to do, much less do it for 50 years, man. I tell you, I just feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah.
I have great friends like y'all, because you know, if y'all didn't support me like you do, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff. And a lot of my growth, I think, has been in what we do on Thursday night, the new directions I go in, because we just kind of have fun and we don't care. You know, and learned a lot of humility.
Well, it sure has helped me to watch it too.
But
Me
he
too.
laughed. You can't joke like that.
I thought he had a bad ear, good ear.
Me too.
Yeah, you look, man, look.
You're
You
getting
look-
better than we thought.
Hey, thank you, Dad. Good lesson to remember. I think we'll go ahead and call it finished for tonight. We didn't get a lot done, but we did.
Well,
So,
listen, Dave asked if this was the first time you painted this, if you'd painted it before, so.
actually, Dave, it was my bread and butter painting going to art school. I sold them half sheet for $50. And the subdivision I lived in, just about everybody in there all felt sorry for me, man. Every
Yeah,
living room
yeah.
had one of them,
To
man.
get that boy through school.
Yeah, get him out of the neighborhood.
Oh,
Look at that, Joe. He's done got him that artist hat. We better stop. Okay, this is Larry Casso welcoming you to my studio once again. We're just going to go ahead and go to our last section. I wasn't going to do this on the video, but we'll go ahead and do it while we're doing it. All we have is a little bit, the lamp, and maybe a few more little small things like that. So we'll just get the brushes out, got all the colors out, using our same sketching palette. And what we're going to do is just come to that final door. I'm going to change this one a little bit and actually put the shutters in it. Let's just go around and give it some line work all the way around it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I really didn't do that one correctly last week, but it doesn't matter. That's the way it was in 1893. Right, Sarah?
I'm sure. I know
Definitely.
that's right, yeah.
Okay. Now, let's begin with this part here. I wasn't going to do all this, but I didn't have time to do it.
Yeah,
I want to have
Yeah,
it's fun
really.
just doing it
yeah.
together.
Right,
Okay.
right. We like to see you do it.
I know, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That is because even with all of it, you still learn something new.
Oh,
you know.
absolutely. You just would be amazed at how much.
Well, I appreciate it. Okay, now we're going to go with the blue and the burnt sienna. You know, you gotta get a little bit of that blue in there to really give it a good feeling. And then we're going to come back with the black. Now, in this case, I'm not going to forget the shutters. And as I mentioned last week, so you just get a good healthy charge on that brush, and you drag it. Now here we're going to make it a little darker on this side and a little darker on this side. to indicate the thickness. We talked about that before. And then once you get that in there, then we're just going to go ahead right across, and if when we do it, it looks like it's too light, you just go back and you wash some areas over it. So let's just and I think that's what I'm going to do in a minute, because I don't want it standing out this much as far away as it is. And I'll show y'all what I'm talking about with that shortly. Got some cough medicine over there. There's a lot of people.
There are a lot of colds going
Oh
around.
man, you just got to.
We have cups and everything.
Oh, is it cold tonight?
Oh, it's just
It's
terrible.
It's freezing. Oh, well, put it.
You know, this is what one of my favorites I'm going to tackle first is the old barn that you got in there. It's like on a hill, and you're walking in and get, oh, David, that's just awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That is just awesome. And then you put your little darker edge over here, because that's the edge that you're seeing. You know what it does is it just breaks up the monotony of it.
Yeah, I'll get a bit. Thanks. Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Right, the real cough medicine.
No, there won't be any coffee in here tonight.
Did you get Larry something?
No.
Oh, I got some already, though. Thank
Have
you.
you guys? Well, this
Yeah.
will be the next one. Okay, fill everything up.
What are we gonna do tonight?
Oh, I'm going to just paint this front. I'm going to
Oh,
finish
you
this
just-
front, yeah.
Okay.
I said I wasn't going to do it, but
Paint for the front of it, yeah.
I'm going to, let's see, while this is wet, it's not going to affect it, see? You want to break that up a little bit? I mean, while it's completely dry, you can just come back over and do your wash on it. See, and it makes that, settle it down as much as you want to, where your lines still come through, but it just has a different feeling about it. Yeah, this kind of stuff, once you get it up on plane, it goes really fast. Starting and stopping slows you down a little bit, but it's all right. We're getting it. Now, same way down here. I'm going to just show the, and this is, I'm just going to have a line here and here, maybe a little darker here. And I don't know why it's got a line in the middle, but I'm going to do the same thing.
Well, that's probably that thing that they're
Seems
showing
to,
close.
yeah, seems snapping.
Yeah, that's some of the shutters or something like that. We're going to come around the outside here. Now, I don't remember when I did that.
Was it the blacksmith shop?
Yeah. Just going to show a little bit of an indication here. Come on down. Then, of course, you let it dry.
Boy, it's popular. I've done several of those, and they always sell at the store.
I say
Man,
that's
I know
got to
it.
be the most painted building
Must
in
be.
New Orleans.
Must
Yeah,
That and
and-
the cathedral.
And I can't wait to see it, because you know they renovated it.
No, I didn't know that.
And they had to. I mean, I'm sure it was caving in, man. That thing was over 200 years old.
I wonder if they try to put it back to that.
Well, I think it looks slick, but I tell you what, it doesn't bother me, because I can tell you it doesn't last long in that quarter, man.
And it's better than letting it fall down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
oh, yeah.
right, because there was a lot of opposition to it, but they really had to do something. You know, especially you use it as a public restaurant. But I was really shocked that night we drove down there when Dr. Hedgeman wanted to go get those pictures. And I was shocked at the way they had it all lit up, you know, but it's just the area in between to get there. If you were walking, that's what I'd be worried about, man. Past all that. Okay, we just got it settled. And that's going to work. Okay. Now, I have just about everything done. Now let's see if we can just put that lamp in real quickly. The bricks are kind of monotonous, so I'm doing pretty fast. Well, we'll just see how much time. It'd be good I got the whole thing done. It'd be great. If not, we'll do part of it next week. Okay, now, these lamps, I've done so many of them, you might want to, you know, if you ever do something like to sketch them in a little bit, but I just use a lot of phacometric on them, man. Okay, that's like you can see on the underside of it. You know, something coming down like this, and something like this, and something like this, and then maybe a little something like this, whatever. You know, when you're this far away, you're not really worried about a lot of detail. And then I might take a little bit of grayish color. I show that glass a little bit here, a little bit. Just really not fuss with it. The back behind it, it's got a little cast shadow back here that I think always works. It's good, chair.
I'm good.
So we're gonna just drag that shadow down like this.
And Larry, you off your screen up there.
How's that? Oh, okay, thank you. Appreciate it. So
Oh, that looks nice.
we're gonna come back and we just kind of basically outlined it and put the little finished details coming down. Okay. Now, I think I pretty well got that the way I wanted up there. Everything else looks like it's completed. Let's take a little bit of our dark black in it here, and let's put our little edge here where the mortar is peeling off. And notice as I go around here, I don't put very much or very lightly, so it's not monotonous looking, and you have a little bit here. So it's amazing how just this little bit begins to form a pattern. Now, one of the good things about coming in and doing the bricks like this is you really get on a roll and you don't worry about it. Man, I'll tell you what, this thing is so old and dilapidated, it's just unbelievable. Come across the top of it like this. And
You know, now they've got the different color bricks that will give you that appearance. Right there in Zachary, one of the new buildings they built on Old Scenic.
It's new
has that
bricks.
appearance. It's new brick,
Looks,
but it's
looks
the
old.
coloration of it. It makes it give it that
that's great.
appearance.
that really is amazing, man.
They even have people now that are doing the faux finish like that
We'll
inside.
finish this sucker, we'll finish the front of it tonight. And I've got another window I need to put down there, so, well, let me just go ahead and start some of that brick. See, here's the thing where you just get that brush like you want it, and you don't fuss, man. You skip, and then as you go down and it starts getting lighter, and see, like right here, I'll break it up where it won't be a line. And you just make sure your perspective is lined up and they're staggered, see? And if I miss a stagger, I just make it go all the way through like that. But see how easy it is? I tell you what.
And the faster you go,
Nobody's
the
gonna-
better it is.
How's that?
The faster you go, the better it is.
Well,
And,
because you do it the fewer the strokes.
I need that so much to.
Because I tell you, that's when I read up that thing on trying to figure out what they meant by the brushwork bravado. It just seems like that was a commonly accepted thing amongst people in the art circles, that you could say, not how fast you said it, you did it, but that you could say whatever you wanted to say with the least amount of strokes. And the person's work that had the least amount of strokes was the cleanest and the most professional looking. And you were recognized, and so that's what, when he was doing those girls with the lanterns, I know y'all know which one I'm talking about. I'm talking about Sargent. And that he had them set up at a certain time every night with the lighting a certain way. And he said he was just working with this brushwork bravado. In other words, working against the element and having very little time and trying to get it done, while it was at. And what it does is the greatest thing I ever did when I read that and I understood it. And I started forcing myself, again, I tell y'all over and over again, I wasn't forcing myself to paint faster. I was forcing myself to have better ideas, to make quick decisions. And I think that quick decisions is what makes your work really
Stroke
great.
count.
And then, you know, I know this is a little duty, but we've already settled this thing with voices. We know that's voices,
Yeah.
so we don't even worry about that anymore. But what you do is you get in that zone and you don't even think about it. You don't even remember what you did. That's why I gotta video these things, man.
I wanna know, whose voices did we figure out they were? Are they Sarah?
Well, I know, well, I mean, we have had some improvements on it, especially my class.
Kitty hears the voices, so.
I hear them now, and my class in Mandeville actually gave me a beret that has an antenna on it. And I pick them up a lot clearer, really. And all I can tell you is,
He was getting a lot of static before.
Was it made out of aluminum foil?
yes, it was. Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
that's a good thing.
And what's unique about it is, it's, oh, thank you, Dave. I started off, you know, where I was talking to Sergeant, and that went along for a while, and it was really good. But he's talking back to me now.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Yeah.
Well, tell him we
When his
appreciated those
sister
guys with
starts
the
talking
beard on
to
that,
you.
Yes,
on
sir.
that magazine.
I've got a.
Just don't mention those voices when you go up to Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's right. That's what I warned Kitty about.
He
all the
might
time.
not let you back out.
They might keep us, yeah.
It is fun.
Yes,
And see, this is where, man, you just.
yes, look at that on the TV.
And that gives you just what you want to.
Uh,
Chicago brick.
That's it.
That Chicago brick is nice.
You know, it was Hayes Town who discovered that you could build houses with old brick. In fact, he told a story. He went to a brickyard in New Orleans and asked the man for old brick to build a house, and the man said, "You can't build a house with old brick." And
You
you
didn't
know,
hear the voices.
he started that whole big trend.
Yeah, I tell you what, he did a lot of stuff like that, sir.
Tell you what, that Chicago brick's expensive too.
Well, I bet it is now. Well, that was an old brick now. I'm sure most of it's gone, you know, from the
Yeah.
old buildings.
That was from the Depression era, I think.
Yeah. You know, did y'all ever hear that blue that they put on porches that's supposed to repel the mosquitoes? Have y'all ever heard that light blue? And that's
Dirt
Hayes
dog.
Town's
That one,
idea. That's called Hayes Town Blue.
Oh, is that right?
That's what, when we said we
I
went to
didn't
buy
know
the colonist man said you got to use it. This is something Hayes Town came up with.
I didn't know mosquitoes. I'd heard dirt daubers and wasps.
Maybe not mosquitoes,
So
but
what is it?
We just bought it.
It's
Just
a-
a
it's
real
a-
it's that light blue. You've
Pale
seen it,
blue.
sir.
Color?
I
On
think,
those
Yeah, and they
plantation
painted up
I
under
think
these
they've been
outside
listening
of
to
the
voices again,
fort.
Sarah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. We do have a lot of dirt daubers around our house.
Do you?
Yeah, quite a few.
There you go.
I just need to find out what way to buy that Hayes Town blue.
Well, look at where the
Anywhere.
dirt dauber is and then paint one of those sections, see if it works.
You
Or
paint
you
it.
paint the whole thing.
That's right.
And then if
Just
they
break-
move
break
from
that
there,
book.
then you know you got something going.
They said what I'll do is whatever I start over there, I'll put a few in here and here with the same color.
Kind of together.
You know, and just kind of, it's called what, repetition?
With variation.
You got it.
Yeah,
Gary
mine
knows
is
right.
repetition
Well, I was getting ready to
without
say
variation,
movement,
and it's
Yeah,
not
no,
good.
movement, Gary's got a
Gary,
fit.
Gary, move over there, please.
Gary, it's a good thing you're here, because when you're not, we talk about you.
But sometimes we talk about him when he did.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
I'm
whenever I leave somewhere, they always do the same thing. So I mean, it does.
I'm not trying to start anything, but they wondering what happened on Wednesday night, man. They want me to explain it to them,
Uh-oh.
and I don't say nothing.
Stay away from that.
No
Yeah.
way, I stay out of it.
Yeah.
That's because you're a wise man.
Gary knows.
You just
where
say,
to
well, I
hit.
don't know, Gary just said he couldn't handle it on Wednesday night.
Yeah. He knows where he fits in.
He said, those people on Thursday, that's where it's at.
Well, as I said,
You're not gonna touch that one either, are you?
I don't know, man. Y'all don't know the way Gary gives them the old snow job. I'll tell you that. And I tell you
So you
what,
gotta tell them Wednesday nights where it's at.
well, they can come on Thursday night if they want to,
Oh, I-
Gary.
Well, I don't know.
No, but I mean, a lot of them,
We have to
they
vote.
get on me about the demonstrations. Well, hey, I'll do them in that classes, or they come to Thursday if they want. Now, I did, cover an area I wasn't supposed to cover, but I mean, that was probably repaired.
Oh, yeah, they fixed that.
It would be in the remodel.
Oh, yeah, man. I'll tell you what, this is amazing. Okay, now, I notice, okay, we came, I see I didn't draw all these exactly the same, so let me come around here
Yeah, there's an angle over there, isn't there?
and maybe have some of these come down like this. Maybe, because these to me really, and then you see you have to come back in and you do different things, like they'll start really getting monotonous no matter what you do, so.
Well,
You
those
come
are,
back.
you gotta put those burned ones in. They burn
Exactly,
them.
that's right. And then not only that, see, I'll get to a point where I'll just take a brush, and I've never used anyone like this. Have any of y'all ever used it? It's got uneven edges. I don't even know what it's supposed to do or be for, but I'm gonna just take it like this. Oh man, I already tell you I don't like it.
Where did you get that?
I actually picked it up by accident one time.
Filbert Grainer.
Yeah, and I'm sure that
Oh,
they
it's
have
on
a
a
good,
comb brush.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like a,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like. And see what I wanna do here.
Good grass.
What do you use it for, Joe?
Yeah, grass and stuff like that.
Yeah. fold it.
Yeah, I really like that.
You see, when you start getting too monotonous,
Well, that
because
looks good.
this one, for some reason, it just looks like it's getting that way, so.
Oh,
And,
that's nice.
yeah, and then if you want to, you come in, look at how that's breaking that, oh yeah. And you come in, and you know how this stuff, it gets that mildew on it, so you put your little green in there,
In New Orleans,
you know?
It's New Orleans.
There it
Put a
is.
couple of splatters of mold now.
Mold, yeah.
There you go. Now, I like this so much, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna add a little bit of this. I gotta watch, I don't wanna overdo this, but it, you know, the part that's plain, now see how it's getting a little uneven?
Yeah, that's good.
Now that's what we want, that texture. All right, man, we just about to ace this front of this building. It's tremendous. Come over under here now, let's get a little bit of, oh man, we got 10 minutes left, the clock's a little fast.
Oh, you can
We in
finish
good
that
shape.
whole painting there in 10 minutes.
Oh man, yeah, tell you what. I'm behaving myself.
Robert, we've missed you. Glad you're back.
That's right.
I'm sure I am.
I know he's glad. Okay. Now, I'm gonna finish now see this part over here, the key to this, understanding it, is if you're gonna put any, areas that are gonna show on the mortar a little, like this kind of thing, it has to be where you're looking into it. When you do an area like this, you leave it open.
What do you mean when you're
And,
looking into?
well, when you, like, see, you see in that crack,
Okay.
thickness of it. When you do the one over here, you're not seeing it, and you leave it. You don't, you just,
Okay.
you just let the imagination do it, see? As an example, like this.
But your perspective is at this angle.
Exactly.
Direction.
See, and then, because it makes it from being quite so monotonous, and that's what you want to have. See, then I'll put a few more in here like this. Now, I think I had some more on this side over here. We're gonna just,
So yeah.
Y'all have a good evening.
hey man, enjoyed it here.
Goodbye.
And again, you just gotta watch. You don't try to be too perfectly copying it, you know. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna take whatever, and show a little under this one like this, just something to break it up. But I think this is I gotta watch I don't make it too dark, but that's giving it, and this is breaking it up, I think, giving it a little bit. What does it look like on the video? Did that help it out?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Okay. Now, getting towards this other end, we don't really have too many bricks, but just enough that we can finish. Thank you. When they come all the way over. Thank you, Dave. We have to keep that Dave around here, man.
He helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get so used to him. And he's gonna leave again.
You see, and you don't want to, like, right here. You know, you just get enough to repeat the whatever it is that you're trying to say with it. And then we want to get that last board down there. Let's get a little bit of the blue, the brown, a little bit of black. And you want to make sure you show the edge here, nice and crisply. Pick up a little bit of this, show a little bit of this, a few of the cracks. I'll probably put a little bit more trash in there. Bring that down like that. And then here we want to pick this one up, see, because we see it. This one we don't. And that's very crucial. Now, I've got one area left. We're just about going to get this part done.
5 minutes.
It doesn't hurt to give this little extra stuff, because with the wall that's sat flat, I feel like I need to do a little bit more trash in it. See, like right here, you don't want it to look too. Man, stories this thing could tell, huh? This building could tell. And then let's come over here and then.
You're off the painting.
Oh yeah. Let me just come up with a little bit, because we're just doing this final stuff here. Now, this is where you paint the picture and just tie it all together. Like that. See that little bit of stuff that you're doing, and look how that makes that stand out more and breaks that up. And then I don't want to do too much here against that other building, but it's pretty stark. So let's do that. And then I think I'm going to have one more area here where I'm going to take and see, and by the time you're doing this, the fun really is just coming in and not really paying any attention to what you're doing almost. Let's see, all we'll have to do next week. Now I might, since we did all this other part, I might go ahead and, if I get a chance, and finish this up, so we can come in next week and just get the sidewalk done in the next couple of weeks. I want to help Dave a little bit while he's here on doing some quick outdoor sketching, you know how we do sometimes. So I think I may take a little break next Thursday night, and I'll take one of the pictures he brought, and we'll do a little. He's got some gorgeous pictures.
We'd love to watch it.
And I want to get him started, because when he leaves, we want him walking in the footpaths of John Singer Sargent.
That's right.
I mean, you won't hear the voices right away, Dave. I don't want you to.
Takes a while.
It takes a while now. You know that poor.
You do, don't jump.
Yeah.
Or either one more cup of wine.
Poor.
Yeah.
Poor what's the name?
How much cold medicine you
That
banned?
comes on.
Yeah, you got a lot of cold medicine, you begin to hear them pretty well.
The airline stewardess, you know, she just says so seriously. She says, "Well, you know, I'm new," and she says, "I listen, and I try to hear them." She says, "I just don't hear them."
She used to get up there about
Just show us a little bit
40,000 feet.
Yeah,
A little longer, she'll hear 'em.
You cut the oxygen back.
That's right, cut the oxygen down just a little bit. Get a good bit of that cold medicine.
Well,
You
she
hear them
just has
voices.
to believe she's gonna hear 'em.
That's right.
And then she.
Yeah, you need to be a believer.
Where are you
You
from,
see some
Dave?
funny shapes too.
Where are you from?
But he's from South Africa.
South Africa originally.
We're gonna get Dave to bring his kilt one Thursday night. He said he'd
Are you playing bagpipes?
he'd model it for us.
Bagpipes?
No, I've started.
Okay.
Yeah, I joined the Celtic
Oh.
I
Society.
remember
Okay.
when you were.
Well, anytime,
Before I started,
I like that
started
red.
playing.
anytime you get in a little boredom, man, you want to escape the doldrums.
Throw the red.
Throw that little red in there.
That
If
did
you
it
want to be
too.
on your
That
own,
is
just play those
perfection.
parts for everybody runs.
Oh, that's good.
How's that looking on?
It looks wonderful.
fantastic.
Wonderful.
I don't want to do too much, and
Like
you
when you
have a
walk in the
tendency to
door.
do that.
Oh,
Let's just lift it up and see what we got,
Yeah, let's do. Let's
would
do.
you give me
Let's
that?
do. Look at it right side up.
please.
What am I getting?
The mat, down there under the counter.
I want to see you finish that roof.
that's
I love that roof.
Yeah,
The magic border.
that roof is
I've got one thing
fantastic.
left to do on the, I forgot to put that other light in there. I'll put that in there. Oh, yeah, boy, oh, man, now you see, I was getting a little concerned about this all being too busy, but, I know how to break it up. I think when I get the roof on there, Okay, boy, I tell you what,
Moving
just
some
that little
shadows on the
red
ground.
starts connecting every bit of that. How's
red
that?
really looks
That and
good.
some shadows on the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah, oh, man, that's what's gonna do
Look
it.
at it on
That's right.
TV.
It's
Very
gonna draw
nice.
everything.
Very
Thank y'all.
Mhm.
I appreciate it
Yeah.
very much, man. This has really been a fun one.
We've
Well, we'll take our
enjoyed
break
working
next
with
week
you.
for Brother Dave,
Yes.
and we'll work on some of that stuff, and it'll be kind of refreshing for me and you all and everybody.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies. What a treat.
Boy, isn't that something? Think it's gonna be okay?
Beautiful. Yeah, just make it.
Hey, well, I like that snow goose.
I tell you, man, that's a fun project. It really is.
I don't know, like the shot of his head on his own wing.
How about that? Yeah, I got that out of a Ducks Unlimited magazine. Let me come right here, Rob. I had a guy brought me 25 past years of issues, and said just keep them. My daddy gave them to me, and he said look at them and pick the ducks. And so I captured them. I got a whole bunch of files from it, of just nothing but ducks. That's what I wanted, man. That's just two. See, and then you start laying those lights on it, you see just what laying those lights on it. It gets a life of its own. Ronnie, we'll see you next.
Okay, see you next week. I'm just right here,
Okay.
right by the door.
He's one leap away. Hey, man, that doesn't look bad on that screen, huh? No, not at all. It'll be all right. When I get that roof on it. What's that, yeah? I got into Savannah just about dark one night. Took that picture. Hey, thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Good night, good night. Hey,
Joe, enjoy it.
we got to sign up for this stuff.
Well, I did.
Well, I didn't.
Well, what's
Man,
wrong
look at
with
it.
you?
And
Gee
you know the
whiz.
number one place has been taken.
Oh, Joe, just put your name at the top. You know you don't need to worry about all that. Oh, look, in red. Put it in red. Hey, I gotta show y'all something real quick. One other thing I did last week, I've got somebody trying to market my set of these paintings for me. Retreat for the last few weeks, and
Now we're back to New Orleans.
done some beautiful things, and back to New Orleans, and get ready to launch my, in fact, this is gonna be the paint I'm gonna use to launch my New Orleans paintings and prints for what lodge is that? It's called now? The Cancer Lodge in
Oh, yeah, the, Ronald McDonald House?
No, this is one that we're gonna be participating. They built it by Oshner.
Oh, sure, you told me about this, I
Yeah,
can't think of the
I
name.
told everybody knows about it, and now see, I'm not even gonna worry about detail up here. I'm just gonna fill in the detail. See, I had it drawn in here,
Uh-huh.
but I'm getting to the point that I'm gonna diminish it so much now. I'm not even gonna put a lot of the other stuff in it.
You need some cough medicine.
I would. Oh, I do.
You like red or white cough medicine?
Red cough medicine would be better for me.
Not many that's a first class operation that offers both.
I tell you,
There's
they-
more where that
oh,
came
that
from.
is-
I
yeah.
wasn't trying to be changing. I just want you to have what you wanted.
Oh, yes.
Now see, we're gonna start with our burnt sienna, and I'm gonna put a little bit of blue in it, because I wanna gray it down a little bit. Now I'm kinda have to get back in the groove on this thing. after being away from it, but it's gonna, I love the way that little gray really does kind of bring it alive. I'm allow room to come back and put some of these, but see, as we're getting further and further away, we can really begin to kind of back off. Now, I like sometimes when I'm doing these watercolors, like I just come on back and mix my colors on the palette, and it just gives it
Wasn't
kind
that
of an
pretty?
unusual look. What's that? Blue and brown is gonna work no matter what. I sure is.
That just, makes it sing.
And I noticed I kind of kept it all the same till I got down here. And oh, wait a minute, now I've got to, oh yeah, that goes up straight up at the top. Okay, I just want to make sure I was on the same
That's
page.
just on the roof over there.
Now we're gonna start lightening it a little bit as I get down here, because I want to leave some of this white coming through. Maybe overlap a little bit of this on here like this, and see, and then I think I'll come over, except I do want to tone some of this down a little, and then I'll even just start giving some of my patterns now for this thing. But let's just come on in and take a little bit of that blue and brown, mostly blue, and let's hit a little bit of this in here.
Pretty,
See,
pretty.
make that real pretty. Now let's just put a little bit of it in here, same way.
Makes it look so easy up
It
I just
looks
wish I
like
knew what I was
blobs
doing.
when I do it. It looks like
Well,
bird
I hate that
baby
I-
has it.
I hate that I have to tape all these things to be able to remember them now, you know, that's sort of downer when you think about it. But if I don't tape them, I can't remember 5 minutes later what I did.
Is Dave already gone to Houston?
How's that?
Is Dave already gone to Houston?
Oh, he made a trip over there. I don't.
He's back, you think he's back in town?
Oh, he was in class this week.
Oh, okay.
I saw him today.
Oh, he came today?
Well, Laura Clark had a book to show him about that Chinese artist. Dave just had been to China.
He's just been everywhere.
Oh, he really has, man, and he's so gracious of him. He told me whenever.
Hey, good night.
Okay, see you next week.
Have a good week.
He said wherever